The following cases are true paranormal stories. Pearl Curran, Patience Worth. In 1913, a St. Louis housewife appeared to be channeling the spirit of the 17th century English woman through a Ouija board. What began as an amusing paranormal novelty evolved into one of the most perplexing and detailed cases of mediumship on record. The woman was Pearl Curran, a 31-year-old native of St. Louis, Missouri. By all accounts, Pearl was an ordinary Midwestern housewife with limited education and no experience or belief in spiritualism. She had never produced any psychic phenomena or displayed mediumistic tendencies previously. On June 22, 1913, Pearl was playing with a Ouija board with her friend Emily Grant and her husband when an entity announcing itself as Patience Worth took control of the planchette. Patience communicated that she had lived in 17th century Dorsetshire, England, and was killed during an Indian raid on a settlement in America. At first, the personality of Patience Worth just seemed a harmless distraction, but soon she began displaying a powerful ability to create complex poetry and prose for hours at a time, speaking through Pearl. Witnesses observed that Pearl went into a trance-like state and began speaking fluently in archaic English, a mode of speech she had no familiarity with. She claimed to be merely vocalizing Patience Worth's words. This ability stunned those who knew Pearl's limited education. How could this simple housewife produce such sophisticated literary output extemporaneously? Her diction and descriptions were unlike anything in Pearl's own vocabulary. Investigators concluded that the Patience Worth communications must be coming from an external source that Pearl was accessing supernaturally. Notable works produced through Pearl by Patience Worth included vivid historic novels and plays such as Telka, The Sorry Tale, Hope, True Blood, and Elizabethan Mask, and several others. Linguistic experts marvelled at their authentic and consistent early modern English vocabulary, grammar, and dialect. The works were dialectically consistent with England's West Country in the late 1500s and early 1600s. Patience Worth's output grew vast, eventually encompassing over 4 million words. Pearl Curran's identity seemed to be entirely overshadowed by the forceful personality of Worth, who conducted conversations in her archaic tongue through the willing medium. As Patience Worth's reputation spread, Pearl became a minor celebrity in spiritualist circles and beyond. Respected literary figures like Caspar Yost, an editor with the St. Louis Globe-Democrat, recognized the unprecedented sophistication of the writings and publicly endorsed their paranormal origins. Pearl embraced the role of conduit, allowing Patience Worth to speak through her for hours on end. Sometimes Pearl would vocalize the words, and other times she would enter a trance and scribble them down on paper. Observers swore no deception was taking place. Doctors who examined Pearl could find no signs of mental illness or disassociation. From 1913 until Pearl's death in 1937, the Patience Worth case enthralled paranormal researchers. Some believe Pearl had tapped into the objective psyche, channeling the authentic personality of a woman who had lived centuries ago. Others felt Pearl's latent literary talents, forbidden by a role as a housewife, had emerged via a guise of Patience Worth. Skeptics saw the whole thing as an elaborate hoax, but if so, how could someone like Pearl Curran have conceived it? Where did the deep linguistic and historical knowledge come from? No theory seemed to perfectly fit the facts. The bizarre yet playful case of Patience Worth stands as one of history's most detailed examples of mediumship and channeling. The works produced through Pearl Curran remain a testament to the odd creative fruits born of supposed union between the living and the dead. Kate Morgan. Along the rugged central Californian coast, the seaside hotel Del Coronado has been a landmark attraction since its grand Victorian-style construction in 1888. Today, it remains one of the most beautiful resorts in the American West, but the scenic hotel also carries a long history of ghostly lore and legends, central among them the tragic story of Kate Morgan. the young woman spent only a handful of days at the Hotel del Coronado in November 1892 before her untimely death by gunshot on an isolated staircase. The mysterious circumstances surrounding Kate's demise and the subsequent disappearance of her body have led to over a century of speculation and numerous accounts of a ghost lingering on the resort grounds. Later evidence would point to Kate Morgan as an alias, but the woman's true origins remain obscure. At the time, the Hotel del Coronado was an emerging vacation destination for wealthy travellers. Kate arrived alone on Thanksgiving Day 1892 after a journey from Los Angeles. Only in her 20s, she appeared deeply distraught and melancholic, according to the few hotel employees who encountered her. 5 days after checking in, Kate was found dead on the resort's back exterior staircase leading to the beach, with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head from a pistol. The local coroner ruled it a suicide. However, the unknown young woman had left no explanation, identification, or connections behind. The hotel buried Kate in a sparse ceremony at a nearby cemetery, expecting her body would soon be claimed by relatives. But days turned to weeks with no one coming forth. Her makeshift grave went unvisited, its marker simply reading Kate Morgan. In the decades that followed, guests and staff at Hotel del Colorado began to report strange phenomena, attributing it to the ghost of the young woman who had perished there. The spirit was said to manifest sad cold spots around the resort's gift shop, which was built near the former staircase where Kate died. The shop became notorious for unexplained flickering lights, moving objects, and doors opening by themselves. Guest complaints even caused paranormal research to investigate the gift shop's odd activity in the 1990s, though no conclusive evidence of the supernatural could be captured. Beyond ghostly lore, the factual details on Kate Morgan have also proven elusive over the years. Amateur sleuths and writers began digging into the mystery woman in the 1960s, seeking her true identity and story. False leads and dead ends plagued the cold case until Alan May uncovered viable evidence in 1990 that Kate Morgan was an alias used at times by a woman named Kate Farmer. Originally from Iowa, Kate Farmer married a man named Tom Morgan in 1885 before moving to Los Angeles years later under her married name. The reason she travelled to San Diego and the Hotel del Coronado using an alias in 1892 remains a puzzle, perhaps to end her own life undetected by family. While Kate Morgan's ghost is disputed, public fascination with her bizarre demise and lack of explanation has not faded after over a century. In 2009, Kate's body was finally exhumed from the cemetery on nearby Coronado Island, where she had been interred nameless in 1892. Forensic experts were brought in to examine the remains before she was reburied. No definitive clues were uncovered, but the project renewed interest. The Black Swan Inn on Coronado now bears a plaque and memorial to the mysterious woman, and Hotel del Coronado continues to capitalize on the unsolved death on their premises, offering tours on the beautiful stranger and saying Kate's spirit remains. Her true motives for coming to the resort may lie forever buried in the past, but the legendary ghost of Kate Morgan persists.